Hey guys, it's KaguraFireCosplay here for my August reading log. So to start out, I have Reflection by Elizabeth Lim, which is part of the Disney Twisted Tales series. And this was the first one I read from the series, and I am happy to say it was really good. So I read this August 1st to August 2nd. So this follows the Mulan story up into the Hun attack when they're on the snowy mountain, and that's when it gets twisted where Chang takes a blow for Mulan instead of Mulan taking the blow, and then him slowly dying to where Mulan has to go to the underworld to save him. So it's a lot, but it's really good. So it gets into a lot of her relationship with Chang. We go through Mulan's perspective of having a lot of guilt because of the situation. And then you also have her going through a lot of self-discovery through it too, as she went through in the movie, so she still has that. You get a little bit more specifically into her mind about those situations, which was really cool. And you get to see Li Shang's guardian too, so you know how Mulan has Mushu, you get to see Shang's guardian. So it's kind of fun. You have less Mushu because of that, but it's cool to see the different perspectives of that too. But there are a lot of really great moments in this. If you like Mulan, definitely check it out. If you are a Mulan and Chang shipper, also check it out. You do have some of that in here too, which was a lot of fun. But so it's a really great book and definitely recommend it if you like Mulan. And who doesn't like Mulan? Okay, if you don't, then we might not be able to be friends, but it's fine. So next I read was Heartstopper Volume 4, which was a reread by Alice Oseman. I read it August 6th or August 11th. And obviously this is following the Heartstopper story that we've seen thus far. So this is getting into what's going to be happening in season 3. Allegedly, we'll see, but it should be. We have some cute advancements in their relationship in this. You have just some fun, like a beach day. You get a little bit more into Darcy's background, which you did get in the show for season 2, so some really sweet Nick and Charlie moments. There's more getting into some of Charlie's harder stuff and not being able to feel like you can go to your parents. Have Nick just trying to do as much as possible. You have you do have some stuff from the season 2 as well. You do have Tori versus David, who's the better sibling. It's obviously Tori, but you have some of that. You have a short about the teachers in this, and there's really not too much I can say without spoilers because we're at Volume 4. So, but Heartstopper is always amazing. The next book I read was The Little Mermaid by Jenni James, which is the series I've been talking about for a while now. This August 7th through September 2nd, and that should tell you my feelings on it. So this is probably my least favorite of this series by a landslide. I don't feel like their relationship was particularly healthy. I feel like you lost a lot of the traditional Little Mermaid story and lieu of adding new stuff, but also just not working, if that makes any sense. And yeah, there's a lot of the traditional, a lot of the normal stuff that catapults the story doesn't happen, so you're kind of just wondering, then what's the point? None of, typically, the Little Mermaid has this motive of wanting to go to the land and see stuff in that sense. And it's just not as much of that, and it's just fairly boring overall, so that's my spiel on that. Okay, so the next book I read was As Old as Time by Braswell. which is another book in the Twisted Disney tales. And this I read August 11th through 16th. And I'm happy to say this was also good. Not as much as the Mulan in my opinion, but I'm also just more of a Mulan fan. I mean, I love Beauty and the Beast, don't get me wrong. But this was interesting. So this follows the traditional Beauty and the Beast storyline, except for the enchantress that casted the curse on the beast was actually Belle's mom. And Belle's not aware of this. But after she gets, caught up with the beast, they start discovering some things together, and that's what leads them to connecting a little bit more. But you have Maurice's love story with Belle's mom in the beginning. That's pretty sweet. You have pretty much all of the people with magic getting pretty fed up, which is why you won't really see them in the movie or anything else. There's a lot of history behind that we learn about. You have a little bit more insight into Belle's thoughts throughout the whole process, which you get less of in the movie, so that was interesting to read about. You have Belle and the Beast being really cute as always. They're always cute, but you have more cute moments of them. And then you have some kind of sweet moments between Gaston and Lupo. Maybe I'm just pulling stuff out of my imagination because for reasons. But there actually is some stuff, and there's a point where people get mad at something that Gaston does towards the end of the book that I highly disagree with. I think he was in the right, but maybe that's just the Floridian redneck and me talking, but I don't think Gaston did anything wrong in that particular scene at the end of the book. He's done other things wrong, do not get me wrong, but you do have a happy ending, so it's just sweet, it's great. These two are the only two I currently have. I definitely want to read the rest. I will definitely get more of the rest to you guys eventually, but for now, this is what I have. But yeah, it was great. Some of you might know what this is. If you don't know what this is, oh, strap in! So this is Romance and Mr. Bridgerton, book 4 of the Bridgerton series, and will soon to be season 3 of Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. This is a reread. I read this August 18th to 21st. So, if you don't know, this is one of my favorite books. It's the book Thief, Gone with the Wind, and The False Prince, which I haven't covered any of those yet, so strap on in for this. And currently, season 3 of Bridgerton is the #1 thing I'm looking forward to in life. Currently, it has been since it's been announced. So that should show how much I'm excited for these events to take place on the screen. I can't express enough of how excited I am. So to not go into too much detail, this is about Penelope and her love story and her just being the best, okay? So some notes, you have a lot of the symbolism you see in the show also still come up. You have her traditional yellow, with yellow being a happy color, whatever. They say that. Yellow's a happy color while green is melancholy or whatever. But you see her as she eventually starts wearing more green, which if you know color theory, the Bridgertons are blue, the Featheringtons are yellow. You mix blue and yellow, what does that give you? Green. Yeah, there you go. You have pretty much all the Bridgertons caring for Penelope in their own way. Sometimes as a sister, sometimes as best friends, sometimes as more. And then you have Penelope gaining a lot of self-respect in this book. She starts putting up with a lot less garbage in her life. Why is orange like that? I'm sorry. And just becoming more who she can be. Her potential is being reached, you know? She also has some really great comebacks in this book that I feel like are completely underrated for how smart they are. You have Lady Danbury and Penelope becoming BFFs, which we love to see. They are such an unstoppable pairing when you know. And then, you have people guessing who's Whistledown, because in the books you do not know who Whistledown is until this book, unlike the series where they tell you the end of season 1. So you have a little bit of mystery within that. And then, there's a lot of shenanigans that go on involving that, of people, maybe trying to take advantage of the situation. You have, oh yeah, you have the more Smythe-Smith concerts, which I feel like are literally just a middle school band concert, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's because I was forced to watch too many of those, but yeah. You have, Colin grows up a lot in this book. I feel like I've heard a lot of people be like, Colin treats her like garbage, or Penelope's garbage, or whatever. But in this, specifically their relationship, it's not just a friends to lovers situation. They would have not worked out previously because they both needed to grow up. Penelope needed that self-respect. Penelope needed to not view Colin as highly as she did, as more of an object rather than a person who has flaws and mistakes. And Colin just needed to grow up, period. He needed to stop running for problems and stop just taking things in that type of direction. And they both do those things, and that's what allows them to really come together. I feel like people don't understand that, or maybe they just haven't read the book, But hopefully they'll see that within the new season and, get over themselves and see why they're amazing. There's so many sweet moments, so many potentially sweet moments, if you would call them so. You've got the carriage, you've got the mirrors, you've got all of that goes down in this book. But you have a lot of pride and work between Penelope's work and Colin's work. You see them kind of figuring out how that is. And then, yeah, Colin's just kind of worshiping her. But it's such a good book. It's so fun. I mean, it's lighthearted. It's not anything to really digest, unlike, previous mentioned books of the book Thief and Gone with the Wind, where you're like either heartbroken or just whatever Gone with the Wind does to you. But it's just really fun, really happy. I love the characters, I love the story. So, this gets, maybe a couple stars in my book. Maybe 2. We can give it 2 out of 5, Yeah, it's more than 5. Oh yeah, and then you have the second epilogue, which I read August 21st, which you get a little bit into Eloise, how she feels at the end of this book, because she kind of ditches what we've covered in her book I've already covered on this channel. And then you also have Penelope telling Eloise some information, which is different than what we get in the show. But that was fun to see. Not how the show gave us that. I'm heartbroken over that, but we don't talk about that because the second epilogue, that doesn't happen, so whoa! But yeah, and that's all I read in August. It's not that much. September is probably going to be worse, but it is what it is. But until then, bye guys.